sure even in anyone that takes a cursory scroll through your feed is inspired in some way or another in anything that you put out there, because you are you know? You're not pretending. And that comes across and people resonate with that.
Sure.
You know, anyone, I don't care what your upbringing is, you resonate with something that's real. You can feel it. It pulls you in. And when you see that, it gives you permission to be you as well.
I think the scary thing, though, is that real has been made to feel so unsafe. I think there are so many people who have found themselves in situations where they were real. You know, they tried to, because we tried to be real from a young age. You know, we tried to be real, and your realness is suppressed from and I mean, I lived through that. Like, my mom would sigh every single day because a neighbor is complaining. I was the sort of child who would rock up to your house and be like, I'm a kid, I'm tired.
No way.
I was that child. I was just like, winding up Andy, like you know. And now you can imagine, as a parent.
A black parent.
Yo. Now you have to come home. My kids are wrong. Because you then think, those are the conversations that are being had at home. And it wasn't that. It was just, I was opinionated, you know. So it starts off like that. And I think, I'm so grateful for the family that I come from, because in as much as they would sigh and whatnot, they stopped caring. One thing my grandmother would always say to me is, do what you want, please just don't embarrass the family name. Wherever you go, do, and this was when I was going to varsity. So I said, we've taught you everything we can teach you. Go do what you want, because you've always done what you wanted anyway. Just don't embarrass the family name. If you can go to bed at night knowing, okay, sharp, I did what I wanted to do, but I did not embarrass where I come from, because that's still so important. Then you're fine. So, yeah, I grew up like that. And because there was so much safety that I was afforded, ekaya from, like where I come from, it was easy for me to tap into that more and more and more and more. However, as you keep growing, real becomes, to some people, intimidating. And I'll explain why. When you are in your realist form, you vibrate ridiculously high. You vibrate crazily. And when you vibrate crazily and I vibrate low, you intimidate me. I have this fear, and then there's also and yes. And there are instances where you can get bad vibes from somebody, or sometimes when you go deep, I would say, okay, what are these bad vibes that I'm getting? When I bump into somebody who's vibrating really high, I question, okay, are these bad vibes, or are these just crazy vibrations that I'm struggling to process at this moment, So because of that, unfortunately, people don't sit and stop and go, are these bad vibes, or is this person just vibrating so high that I'm struggling to keep up? Now that I know the answer, okay, sharp, let them go, they're just vibrating high. Unfortunately, people then become offensive. And that's why we are experiencing so much bullying on social media. For example, where umuntu is really just being themselves, then you get weird comments underneath, and
people
you can
that are threatened.
Exactly, because that vibration is so high, and you have only allowed yourself to vibrate within these parameters. Now this person is vibrating all over, and you're just like, no, that's wrong. Shouldn't be doing that, So in some instances, that safety can sometimes be used against you. But it's always a matter of having to vibrate higher.
I think what you're saying is so accurate, because there's this video that's trending on TikTok now. It says the higher the NQF level, the smaller the dating pool. And that hits home because, I mean, wow. There has to be something in your life that you're good at very early on, that you have to discover very early on, that I'm good at art, I'm good at writing, I'm good at maths, I'm good at whatever, sports, whatever it might be. Just have that thing. Because what's important about having that thing as early as possible is it builds you up so that you know I'm good at something.
Of course.
There's some value in me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most people never find that thing.
Sure.
And those are the people that are online spewing hate.
Exactly.
You know, and that TikTok video about the NQF level is accurate in the sense that the more educated you become, there's often this claim that especially a black person that educates themselves wants to become white at some point or another.
Clever blacks.
And I'm like, wow, guys, could it not be that there are certain things, there are certain traits that if you nurture them, they increase your emotional intelligence, they increase your self-actualizing belief in yourself, that you start to move away from the things that are within the lower levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, of just wanting to worry about the basic needs. You know, you want to take care of yourself, you want to eat right, you want to experience things, you want to experience moments, you want to create memories. Is what is more important to you, and you naturally gravitate to people that are also within those levels.
Exactly.
You know, and anyone that I find that still has time to spew hate, I try to remind myself very quickly that they're very sad. You know, they're very sad, and I should feel sorry instead of me being affected of their sadness. Because wow, how can you go buy a data to say something crazy online?
Like who has the
I'm like, what?
Who has the time? And that's the beauty. You struck a chord there when you spoke about self-actualization. The essence of self-actualization, and this is what I've experienced ever since I decided to pursue just what I want to do. The beauty of that is the fact that you create. That's the epitome of self-actualization, actually, when you are able to create. And that is us operating in our most God form. Yeah. Our God-like form. Yeah. Our ability to create and our ability to also create versions of ourselves in things, whether it be a business or a book or a podcast or an event. The fact that you are able to take a form of you and mold it and create it, and it having its own life. That's the epitome. And who doesn't want that? Like, who doesn't want to experience themselves and look at themselves, have an outer body experience, and not an outer body experience. You're still in your body, but you're seeing an aspect or a form of you there. And that's the one thing that keeps me awake at night, to say, okay, sharp, Alfie, you've done this, you've done that, whatnot. How do you then take yourself and create a new version of you and have it, just walk around and do its own thing, And that for me is so important, because then why was I here? Because if this is going to live and it's going to die, then it lived and died. But if this is going to live, and while it's here, it creates a series, it writes a book, it does this, it does that, or there's an event, or there's an experience, or this and that, then it now outlives me. Yes. It now outlives me. And as Sakuti, we once had someone like this.
I was once here. There's a legacy.
Exactly.